We are at 220.
220, so it's 220. And the winner today is Josette.
Is Miss Josette on? I know she says she's gonna try to be more present. Nope.
No, Josette. Okay, the pot, it grows, so now we're gonna be at what?
240.
240 next week, 240. Getting up there, getting some money.
I want it at 300 cycling.
Jackie wants it to be 300, but we'll see. We've never made it to 300, I don't think, at all. Have we?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think we've made it to 300.
What's the highest it's gone?
I think, what is the highest, Jackie?
240.
240, something like that.
240 was the big one.
So, you guys, we had so much traction on open houses last weekend. I know that Chris had the one in on Dexter in Porterville, and he had somewhere between 30 and 40 groups, not people, groups. It was nuts. So that's
Dexter or
it,
Oxford.
Dexter.
Really? Wow.
Dexter, his listing, isn't that the listing that it is? Which one did you say?
Oxford. I went to Oxford.
Oh, Oxford, sorry, wrong one, wrong name, sorry, it was Oxford, and he made, he had 30 to 40 groups. It's a blessing and a curse, right? Because it's too many people to keep up with. You can't keep up with 30 to 40 groups in an open house. It's just too much. And it's hard to figure out who's a looky-loo, who's really a buyer, because sometimes the people that are the most engaging and do the most speaking to you are not the real buyers anyway. They're wandering around the house, they want to chat. It's just so hard to know. So, but I know he's got multiple offers on that one. Wes had multiple offers on Avenue 188. University he had a great open house over there. So 'tis the season, I guess, to do these open houses because people are really getting traction. I think we're gonna do some trainings on open houses, just scripts, what to say, and then also what are you doing before the open house? What are you doing after the open house? Like, how are we following up? So after we get through Atomic Habits, I think that's gonna be one of the items that we're gonna do, one of the topics that we'll do training on. And with that being said, anything that you guys want training on, anything, bring it up to me. Let us know. Let Jackie and I know. I can't guarantee we're always going to train on everything. I promise you, I'm not going to train you on how to write a contract. That's not something I train. That's more of a one-on-one deal. And I really want to train you on things that get you clients because we don't need to write offers until we have clients. So that's my mindset about it. But I think, doing open houses is great. And it's a great way to get clients. So, okay, so that was that. What else, Jackie, do we have to bring up before we get into Atomic Habits?
So we've been doing our Monday huddles and they've been being a good turnout.
Oh, yeah.
Sarah's calling on more people to engage and participate. And it's been good when agents are sharing their upcomings, their pendings, their the coming soons. A lot of the agents are loving that and finding it very, very helpful. We've had deals happen because of it. Like the other day, I think it was one of the agents shared their coming soon. Two other agents right away said, I think I have a client. And it made it easier to have that one up. And so when you get to have that one up to your client, you look like the all-knowing superstar.
Right.
It's like my systems that I have in place keep making me look like I'm all-knowing. It's like I'm not ChatGPT, I'm not Google, I don't know it all, but I try my best to know as much as I can.
Right. So the Monday morning huddles I find them really refreshing because it's Monday morning, it's 8:30, let's start the week out. It does take us about an hour. Not last week, it was about 45 minutes, just depends what everybody's talking about. It is an open forum, it is not a training, it's more of a
real estate discussion.
So come with your questions, your problems, your gripes, your wins, your losses, and speak. Because I don't really want to do all the talking. Austin doesn't want to do all the talking, but of course I fill in the blanks because, when people don't talk. But now I've started just like randomly, what do you have to say?
Yeah.
So, and it's okay. There's no right or wrong. It's just us talking. That's all it is. And it's within our group. But the open house, the coming soons.
Mhm.
I think all of us, when you know you're getting a listing and you absolutely know the price, you know what you've got that listing signed,
Mhm.
put it in downtown in the know.
Mhm.
Because I did a coming soon ad on
Mhm.
social media for Wes's on 188.
Mhm.
I got 5 people reach out to me because of that post.
Mhm.
And it was only one day before he actually put it live.
Yeah.
But it was one day sooner than anybody else did anything.
Mhm.
And again, it just makes you look like the expert.
Yeah.
And so I think, and it's also good for your sellers. Hey, we've got an internal group, our group, we have 100 agents who are trying to sell properties. I put it in there to see if they have any. It's just another way of exposing it.
And if you have it coming soon, but you haven't locked in the listing itself, but you have some info, do not share the address, but share the specs. Share, I have a 3-bed, 2-bath, Northwest Porterville. We're thinking it's gonna be in the price point area of this much, so much square footage. Give as much details as you can without giving addresses, just so that way we can start already kind of blasting it to who might have a client.
Right.
And when you have a buyer, same case. Don't say, I have a buyer. Cool, we all do. Be specific. What price point? What areas are they looking? What are their big wants? Because that way we can mesh it up a lot faster than just throwing blind darts.
Right, for sure. But again, I don't give out addresses of my coming soons unless I have a listing signed because you just
Yeah.
never know. Because it's innocent. Sometimes an agent from any office, our office, any office will tell their client, it's not the agent that I worry about, it's the clients. And then the client goes and then they just went straight to the owner and cut you out of the deal because you don't have a signed listing agreement. So
Yeah.
it's not always going to go that way, but we don't want it to go that way, right?
And I did send out the agent roster the other day to everybody across the board. Largely so that way it's easy for agents that are having difficulty trying to find someone that hosts an open house. You kind of have you can call, start going down the list, calling each other, be like, hey, can you help? Like we tried doing in the know, but sometimes some agents aren't responding as quickly as would like. So if you want to be in control, take control by sending out phone calls or text messages and asking agents directly. It helps.
And I would make a habit out of going on downtown in the know. There's a lot of info in there. And when I put a question in there, I hope that everybody's checking in the know so that I can get a response. It's if it's a vibrant group that we're all responding, but sometimes people do put in for, like, hey, I have this one. Does anybody want to do an open house? If you're not checking in the know, you may not know, you may miss the opportunity. So I try and check it a couple of times a day, just see what's going on in there, see what people are doing.
Yep.
And it does not go outside our group, guys. It's just our group.
For us, yeah. SkySlope is the latest thing for Accent for our files and compliance. So if you want to use it to write out your contracts, you can. Personally, I'll still be using Card, but that will always be your discretion. Your TCs will need access to your SkySlope account, so make sure you have activated it. It is under your Accent email. And then just make sure your TC knows everything that they need to know in order for my CDAs for me to get the information early as possible so I can create your CDAs. So I'll be working on CDAs late today so that we can get them all distributed for everything I have between now and next week closing.
Okay, perfect.
And then they sent out an email regarding the new dates for Michigan too for the following upcoming months.
Right.
Because keep in mind, they do get full just because you signed
Yeah,
up.
I
doesn't
think
guarantee the
May is already
Yeah.
full.
They're released
Michigan.
for June, July on. So if we haven't gotten reservations, even though we signed up, we need to look to see for the next one and see if we want to go one of those ones. So those of us that signed up for May and haven't gotten confirmations yet, let's look at the next months and see if we want to join those.
And realize that the bigger Axon gets, the harder it's going to be to get into those trips because they only accommodate
100 people.
100 people, about 120, I think.
Mhm.
And when we went, I think they pushed it to 140 for us, but
Mhm.
that's it. That's all they can do. So the more people, they get booked very, very quickly. And then so the immersion is different than the level up. The level up is what we did in Visalia. They have those. Those are going to be, they have those going as well. The immersion is a little bit different. It's always in Pontiac, Michigan, always.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, so let's talk about Atomic Habits. So we are on the first law, make it obvious, right?
Mhm.
So there's certain things that I felt from the book about, I think you do have to identify habits. And you've got, if they're bad habits, because we have bad habits and good habits. So one of the things that I saw that stood out to me was, you've got to identify them, right? You've got to make it obvious that what your habits are. And some things are going to trigger habits, but they could be good or bad, right?
Mhm.
Did anybody else have what they thought about initial thoughts about the first law?
I like the whole saying out loud when he said I'm eating the junk food and it's bad for me. And you say it out loud and hopes that it helps you stop. I'm like, I need to do that one.
Yeah.
Right now, my mom has a box of Ferrero Rochers on the kitchen table, and
Right.
when I grabbed it and I ate it, I was like, "Oh, this is that moment where I should be saying, I'm eating this. It's not good for me. Put it away. Go drink the water."
Right, right. Did anybody come up with any habits that they want to implement? Because I think we talked about that at the end of the
Mhm.
chapter last week. Was there any habits that anybody's trying to implement? And what have they done to do that? Anybody?
Checks.
Kelly has one.
What is it, Kelly?
I have been getting up an hour earlier all week.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And getting up an hour earlier, what is that like?
Well, I
what
get to
are
the gym earlier and then I can get to the office earlier and I just get more done.
So the goal was to get to the office earlier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ultimately.
and so by getting up earlier, you go to the gym, you're just starting your day earlier. Is there
Yeah.
anything that you're doing that? I mean, like, is there something like, oh, I don't know what it would be, like, your favorite cup of coffee if you get up that time?
I used to not set an alarm and I would always wake up like
It's by vibes.
by vibes, I guess. By the sun coming through the window. But now I've been setting an alarm and no, I mean just to start my day earlier, I guess, has been the incentive.
How long have you been doing it now?
A solid week. I'm just trying to retrain my brain because okay, my brain would always wake up at like 7 and I wanted to wake up at 6 and it is now.
Really?
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
That is really good. So I drink mine is these vitamins that I drink, and I don't like the taste of them. One of them is super sickly sweet, but it's the easiest way. I mean, I don't want to take that many. I take enough pills as it is. I don't want to take more. So I wanted to add this to it. So I added these liquid vitamins. Ugh. And the one is so sickly sweet, it's almost gagging, and the other one just tastes weird. And so I make myself, well, I reward myself with my coffee afterwards, right? So I can't have coffee until I take those vitamins. And I do have them set right in front of the fridge, so I see them and I know you got to do it. It's right there in front of my face. So have I been perfect? No, I have not been perfect. I've missed a few days, but I'm doing better. So I keep trying it. I keep going. Some days I just haven't had my coffee. I'd give up because I hadn't had the vitamins, but it didn't spur me on to do it because they're so nasty. Does anybody have anything else, whether it's real estate related or personal life, anything that, and either a habit they want to break or you want to start?
Hey Sarah, this is Cindy.
Yeah.
So what I just started this week is to get up and get dressed. Get my tennis shoes on, get my walking, whatever I'm going to wear out walking, and by 7:30 I'm out the door taking my walk. And so then when I get
Good.
back, I'm like ready to work, ready to go, ready to sit down, you know. And I mean, I don't know if you noticed, I was on the Axon call this morning, which is the first
Yeah.
time I've been on one of those. It's so easy to just get up and we always just have our coffee, sit and watch the Today Show, and I could watch the Today Show for an hour, and so I'm just really, and what I noticed was when I got up earlier, like what was said before, um, I was ready to go to bed earlier.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's my thing.
that's awesome. So you've been doing it, how long, Cindy, have you been doing that
Just
for?
just this week. I just started it this week, and I was frustrated
And
because I wasn't doing my walking like I love to do, and like I used
yeah,
to do. I just had gotten really, I guess, lazy in the morning. And now, of course, with the weather so amazing, it's a lot easier to get out there and walk. But yeah, I just wanted to get back to that habit, and I know that when I do that, I feel so much better the rest of the day.
that's amazing. That is so good. Anybody else have anything, habits that they want to do or they have tried, or even if it's just something you want to do?
JP, I do.
What
Um,
is it?
I I started a couple weeks ago, but I set my alarm and for 6:30, and I get up. I have my sweatpants and my um, shoes all ready to go, laying on the floor so I can't miss them. And I go for a walk, yeah, a mile and a half, maybe 2 miles, and then I come home and have my coffee, turn on the news, which I need to break that habit. Um, I get sucked into Fox News and I'm just stuck listening to
Yeah.
everything, every bad thing that's going on around the world. So that's a bad habit I need to break, but I'm working on
So
my good habit.
do you have a plan for breaking it, JP? What do you think would help you to break that bad habit?
Not turn the TV on.
There you go, right.
I
Yeah.
the remote, take out the batteries.
Yeah, yeah. Jackie said hide the remote and take out the batteries. That
That doesn't work for
extreme.
me.
And
That
then
doesn't
the
say
other
anything
one,
like,
the other bad habit I have personally is eating too late before you go to bed. I
yeah.
need to eat earlier so I can try to get some more quality sleep.
So how do you set a cue for that? Like how do you initiate get that habit to get started?
I actually just set an alarm on my iPhone.
Uh so on its alarm, eat. It's time to eat.
Yeah. And then sometimes I'll hit snooze for about 8 minutes and then try it again. But it's just taking those little small steps, and it takes a while to make the habit.
Yeah, for sure.
But you got to
Does
keep.
anybody have any real estate like lead gen, anything like that that relates to
Kelly
atomic
has
habits?
another one.
Okay, Kelly, is that
I've
Chelsea?
been going in.
I like to rat her out.
What is it?
I've been going into Lofty and cleaning up 10 contacts a day. And
That's a
now I'm getting more familiar with moving around on the site. So I'm like doing more than 10 a day because I'm going faster now, I guess I should say.
So when are you doing that, Kelly? Like what are you doing that as soon as you get to the office, or do you have
I just like give myself a list of stuff that I needed to do, and I've just been incorporating that into my list.
Mhm. Did you, as I was reading through that first law, what I thought was interesting is when they talked about like using specific electronics for certain things, or like if you have a problem going to sleep, don't watch TV in your room, only go to bed when you're ready to sleep.
Mhm.
And then it also talked about if you are going to get on Lofty on your phone, but you end up, which I do, now I'm on Instagram. I don't know how that happened, but right, I wanted to do something on Lofty, and now I'm on Instagram. And it talked about don't do that. Like only do Lofty on maybe your laptop, and like really dedicate what each device is for or what you're doing on that. So I'm going to try that because that is my biggest problem. I get on my phone and I have whatever it is I think I'm going to do, and I end up on Instagram.
Mhm.
Yeah, the
Or even
screen
worse,
time, the screen time at
TikTok.
nighttime is horrible for you. If you're
Yeah,
trying to relax and go to sleep, if anything, read 3 or 4 pages in whatever book you're reading.
yeah.
I tried doing the put my phone on the dresser a distance from me. It didn't work. I ended up going to grab it to check a message and didn't put it back, so then my phone didn't charge for the night.
Don't you think it's so crazy because our phones are so essential to our business, but they are the worst time wasters that we have.
Mhm.
Like honestly, we need them so much and they are so beneficial to us, but then they're also the biggest cause of us wasting time and not doing what we're supposed to do.
But I'm going back to it, so I'm still gonna keep trying because I'm gonna break that habit and keep it at my dresser.
You're gonna keep your phone on your dresser so you don't get on it and scroll.
Well, that and so that way I have to get up to go actually physically turn off the alarm. And see, once I sit up, I stay up. But the problem is if I hit snooze and don't sit up, that's where I struggle. Because there's a book called The 5 Second Rule. So if you don't want to do something, you count down from five to one to force yourself to go do it. So you kind of like brace yourself for it, but it gets you to you got to get it done in 5 seconds,
Right.
and it gets that momentum going. It's like how you don't pause and think and write down what you're going to do later. You just hurry up and do it right now if
Right.
you can.
Right.
You always take action now, and that's what the 5 second rule is about.
We also have these printouts, these atomic habits. They were just a worksheet, and did Romy put it in the chat?
Yes.
Yeah, Romy put it in the chat. So it was like part one, awareness. It's a habit scorecard. Write out your typical daily routine and be honest. And then label each habit. And this was in the book. It's a plus if it moves you forward. It's a negative if it distracts. And it's an equal if it's a neutral. So some things are just going to be neutral. And that will help you identify what your positive habits are and what your negative habits are. Because it's so important to be aware, right? And then I also like the part where you're more likely, if you have a specific plan, when and where, not just when, but where, location. So it could be within your own household. It could be, if you sit at your dining room table and you get drawn off, it would be better to, if you have a home office, to go to your home office and a specific time when to do that. If you are going to, lead gen or whatever your lead gen time is. And you guys all know how I think about this. I'm gonna preach right now. Lead gen time is sacred, and it should go into your calendar, and it should be absolutely, it's a non-negotiable. Lead time is non-negotiable. Whatever your time you're doing for your lead gen, whether it's a half an hour, don't, you know how to use your calendar. Don't change. It's just like, when I go get my facial, it goes in my calendar. 4 weeks I go in, and guess what? I'm not changing it unless it is an absolute emergency. And so it's the same thing with lead gen. If you want to be successful with lead gen, you got to schedule it in, and it's a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And maybe when I get on my computer first thing in the morning, sometimes it's coffee. So it's vitamins, it's, and then I get to the computer, then I have my coffee with that. Lead gen may not be fun, but
What you gotta
coffee
do.
is. Is anybody else trying to do any habits for real estate for business purposes?
I have a alarm set on my phone to check the downtown in the know.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, alarms are amazing. As long as you don't snooze them.
Yeah.
Because when do you decide that, so I mean, when do you decide you're gonna do an open house? When do you get on the computer and pick your open house?
Monday the earliest or Tuesday the latest.
So Amy knows she's gonna pick her open house Monday or Tuesday at the latest.
Most of us already have systems and habits and we don't even know. So they either already come naturally or they do it. Or you've done it consciously, but a lot of them have been unconscious so far. So like Sam, every time we go put up a sign, do you do some marketing to go with it? Do you do something to share it with clients? What triggers you when you look for properties for clients?
I just check the MLS.
Whenever your client calls, or do you look before?
If I have the descriptions of what they want, I check every morning.
Yeah, you go on the hot sheet every morning,
Yeah.
right? I like to go on the hot sheet every morning. And again, it's just something that I do
The habit.
as a
Even if I
habit.
don't have clients that are looking, I always check the hot sheet no matter what, because sometimes there'll be that house that nobody has said that they're looking for, but it fits them, and I'll send it to them.
Mm-hmm. Like I myself struggled to go in and do the hot sheet, so I have myself set up to get email alerts to my email every time there's a listing in Porterville. So the minute there's a new listing in Porterville, I get an email that tells me so.
That's why my phone goes because you attached me to it.
I attach it to the one for the office, so every time the agents downtown has a new listing or an update to the listing, you get notified. So you know that they'll pick up sign or put up a sign is coming.
So the part about habit stacking was interesting, where it talks about there's a cue, a craving, a response, and a reward. So habit stacking could be something you don't like with something you do like, or it could be something that you already do, that you already have as a habit, and then you stack on top of it. I think that's easy, right? If you already know that, I get up and I take my vitamins and then I sit in front of the computer and then I have my coffee and then I'm doing lead gen. Maybe that's the time I also want to check the hot sheet. You're already doing it, just add to your list of already doing it. And then income producing habits. What income producing activities and habits do you guys already have? Just tell me, what do you do? What produces income for you guys?
I have
On a
one
regular
that
basis.
I have one that doesn't really produce income, but it helps me stay on track, and that's every month I check my bank statements just to see what's coming out. That keeps me on
Right.
track. Yep.
Right? So what does that help you with perspective wise, JJ? Does that like keep you motivated, make you see if you're not working hard enough? I mean, like, what is it that you get out of the bank statements?
It keeps you on check because a lot of the times we subscribe to things that we don't utilize, and if we're using it every month, I mean, if we're looking over all the statements every month, at least you see what's coming out. So at least you know what to expect to make in order to keep up just with your bills. So you're not getting blindsided at the end of the month by all your bills, pretty much. So I do it on the first week of the month. That's my rule.
So it's a financial activity that
Yeah.
JJ does. You check your bank statement. Well, it's security too, right, JJ? Because if you got
It
some
checks a
weird,
lot of boxes. Yeah. And then you can
Yeah.
check your spending habits, and it doesn't really take that long to print out your credit card statement, your bank statement, and just to keep on top of things. It doesn't really produce a lot of income, but I think like sometimes we have subscriptions that we don't look at, and then all of a sudden we realize that we're paying for them.
right?
So
That's
that's
right.
one of my habits.
What about lead gen? JJ, are you locked into a specific time of doing lead gen, or how does that work for you?
Yes. So if we work with the TC, any TC that I ever work with, I let them know that if they're doing a home inspection, a termite inspection, any type of inspections, they must schedule them in the afternoons, because in the mornings, anything before 12 o'clock, that's my lead generation time. So I do not book anything in the mornings that has nothing to do with like lead gen. Everything in the morning is lead gen. After 12 o'clock, that's when I try to do all my showings and everything else. That's kind of how I lay my schedule.
Do you ever have pushback on that, JJ, or no? You just stick to it and
Um,
that's the way it is.
I do a lot of the times, especially with the inspectors. Sometimes they say, "Hey, you know what? Like I don't have time. I'm not available during that time." But you know what? There's plenty of home inspectors and there's plenty of termite inspectors because you got to protect your time.
That's right. I
But
agree.
that's
I think,
what
don't you think that's what happens to real estate agents? I mean, you see it so much. They have lead gen time and then they find, oh, I gotta go show a house. Oh, I've got to go to a home inspection. And they give up that lead gen time for something that is getting you through an escrow, but not creating new business. And I
you
think
have.
we do well, and I think agents do it intentionally because they really deep down don't like lead gen. So they'll find any excuse on the face of the earth, right? I mean, nobody really wants to call, make your care calls, do your calls, reach out to your SOI. And so I think we'll use any excuse in the book and we feel like it's legit because, oh, well, I had to go show that property.
Mhm.
And I do think the most important thing in the day and a real estate agent's day is your lead gen. Because you
Yeah,
have so many other people to rely on. Like if you have an escrow, you have your TC. If you have a home inspection, then is the home inspectors is doing the inspection, not you. And it's kind of like your main job should be finding more business. So that's for me,
right.
that's every day in the mornings. That's what I stick to, and I mean it's been working out pretty well.
Yep. Yep. Does anybody else, what are you doing business wise? Any income producing activities? What are you guys doing for lead gen? You can be honest, we're not gonna criticize anybody. Like, what are you doing for lead gen and do you have it scheduled?
My whirlwind, ChatGPT told me if I couldn't stick to doing my three follow-ups a day, to at least do one before going to bed. So I did three the other night at 7 o'clock. And then the next day, my client, a different client, reaches out and says, I want to see this house.
Yeah,
And so I know care calls when I put the energy out, it comes back, like you always say. So I did my three. At least it wasn't the way I would have wanted, structured in front lofty where I could actually plug it in. But I got my text message out, and that was most important.
yeah,
And it started a conversation.
right, right. So it is weird that when you put energy into real estate, even though you're reaching out to three totally different clients, it always seems like something happens and you get, something happens, even if it's not with those clients, it's with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Chelsea, what do you do for lead gen? Are you doing lead gen on a regular basis?
I have to say I'm not very consistent on it is what I've been kind of getting out of all of that.
Yeah.
I have started going through my social media though, like my like latest recent text messages and messaging people that I've already talked to, whether it was just like they replied to a story and kind of trying to stay top of mind in terms of those people because most of them are my SOI and then trying to get them into Lofty.
That's
Just saying
good.
that I have a new system. I know I see them on social media, but if they'd ever like to do a CMA, and I've had actually a few people reach out to me and just be like, "Oh, I am curious about how much my house is worth." And so I've
Yeah,
seen that.
yeah, yeah. Does anybody do habit stacking at all? Does anybody use that technique? Jackie said she tried, but she failed.
Well, I'm still failing at it, but I'm still gonna keep trying. Which is adding my vitamins into my before I drink my coffee thing.
Well, I
What
have a
about
good one with.
environment? Oh, what was that, JJ?
I was gonna say I have a good one for vitamins. I bought the containers, 4 weeks worth of containers, and I put all my vitamins on the little containers, and I just keep
Yep,
them next to my bedstand, and then that way I don't have to like reload them every week. I think that's one of the things that keeps it like very consistent with me, makes it easier. It's just already there. I don't, yeah, I make sure that I take my vitamins.
I
Makes it
need to do
easier.
that, because I used to do it weekly and I did good, and I held on to it for quite a few months. But then once I stopped, it was so hard to get back on. But I think I'm gonna try that, because yeah, the refilling part is where I got chaotic and I stopped refilling the once a week.
Yep.
Right.
And I did I mean 4 weeks worth, and that so far that's been working out pretty well.
So being prepared and being organized helps to do a habit, don't you think?
Mhm.
I mean, I guess it goes back to if you get up and get dressed, or like
Mhm.
JP, he knows he's gonna go for a walk. He's got his sweats and his tennies right there. You don't have to scramble around looking for what am I gonna wear. It's there. You already know. It's right there. It's obvious, right? It's right in front of your face.
Cause usually what I do is I pour my coffee, it's too hot, I put the creamer in and I let it sit there with the lid off so it cools down. And I used to grab my water bottle and do my pills, but since my pills haven't been filled on Sundays, that's where pulled away from my pills.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And then if you are trying to do lead gen, does your environment help you or distract you? What do you guys think? Any comments about
We
that?
were just talking about this yesterday, kind of with Joseph, me and Kelly, where for some reason, I don't know why it's when it's a little bit busier in our office, we're able to get more done. I don't know
Mhm.
why that is. It's like we're not talking to each other as much, I think. Because there's just so much going around, so we're trying like not to add to it.
Right?
And so because
So
of
that,
that, we end up getting a lot done when we're not talking to each other. And I think that's why we used to watch TV when would work in our office together. Because it was like the something about having that background noise kind of made us like stop talking and then get to work.
yeah. And it's funny, isn't it, that you're saying that like when the office is busy and when there's a lot of hub, you guys work more. It almost seems like it would be the opposite. Like when there's a lot going on, you'd be distracted, but for some reason, you're just honing in when that happens.
Yeah,
And
I think it's
and
something about we feel the need to fill the silence, so we just start talking about anything that popped up, and then it just like we
oh
start
yeah.
talking more, and then we're completely off track.
So I think that environment does distract or I make sure that when I'm working on my computer, I turn my TV off. Like I just don't have it on because otherwise I do the same thing. I'm watching Good Morning America or The View, which I hate and whatever and then I'm involved in that instead of paying attention. And then it takes a lot longer to get done because I have a list of what I want to accomplish and I'm worried about doing other things and I'm not going through my list. So I think, yeah, environment is important. Um, anything anybody else wants to interject, challenge themselves before I go into a little bit of a challenge I have for you guys? Anything? No?
And I'm just gonna try to
Okay.
work on my habit stacking and keep it consistent every day. So it could be
Perfect.
just like, go for my walk, come back, take my pills, brush my teeth, have my coffee, make my bed, things like that.
Yeah. So I would encourage you guys to get this worksheet and label the habits and see what you do. And then label them as a positive, as a negative, or as a neutral. And again, atomic habits just doesn't apply to work. I relate it to real estate, like because that's just what I relate it to primarily, but not completely. And but I'm going to challenge you guys, choose one habit that you want to work on that will grow your business. Like just pick one thing that you think is going to grow your business. And that's at the bottom of the habit tracker here that I have. It just says part 6, your 30-day focus habit. Just pick one thing. It doesn't, I mean, if you could do real estate, that's great. If it's not real estate, that's okay too. But I would really challenge you to do real estate, something that's going to grow your business, why it matters to you. And then there's a 30-day habit tracker. Let's see. like, did you complete it? And notes, if you did, if you didn't. And I think it'll help us give us some clarity as to why things might be working or why they may not be working. Or, and if you do the first part, where you know the negative habits, I think sometimes if you can get rid of some of those, it gives you more time for the positive ones as well. And then there's a weekly reflection where you can think back at the end of each week, what worked, what didn't, and there's 4 of those as well. This is added to the chat, and you know, I would encourage you guys to do this, bring them back next week, and let's just talk about it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I'm gonna let you know what I did right, and I'm gonna tell you where I failed, right? Because even if you try and do one more thing right, it's better than doing nothing at all. And there's different aspects of your business that you might want to be doing the habits for. For me, I know what it's going to be, but you guys need to pick yours too. Okay. Anybody have any final questions, any comments, anything they want to talk about? Doesn't even have to be about atomic habits. Oh, well, no, we'll talk about that later. That's not finalized yet. I was going to talk about the quilt raffle. You know, we're doing a quilt raffle. It's all going to benefit and it's a beautiful quilt made by Jim Carson's mother-in-law. She is world-renowned quilt maker. We're going to sell tickets for $10 a piece. All the proceeds are going to go to the Porterville Animal Shelter. So we all know I love the animal shelter. And then April 17th is lights, cameras, closings, and Lindsay's going to come back and do headshots for us. I've got to get the address of the studio. It's going to be in Tulare. I think we're going to have to make appointments, time slot appointments, because it's at a studio. But put it in your calendar. And we'll see. I think we're starting, I don't know. I'm talking without really knowing.
11, I think.
I think we're starting at 11, but put that in your calendar and then we will go from there. Anybody else have anything? Any last comments? Anything? JJ, any words of wisdom?
I have an interesting habit that changed me for the best for the longest.
What is it?
And I go to sleep like at 8:30 every day. I mean, as people that knows me that by 8 I'm pretty much clocked out. But that habit, it's been probably the most impactful one that I had so far, because within that, like the next day gets affected. So it's like it's a lot more balanced if I do that than if I go to sleep later at night. But that's a hard one. But for me, it's been proven that's the best one.
What time do you get up in the morning, JJ?
Around 3:50 to 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no
but
wonder
that's
you go to bed.
well, I mean, I guess we would say like getting 8 hours of sleep is probably the most important habit out of all other things.
Yeah, because what's so important? Sleep, make sure you're breathing, moving your body, right? So sleep is so important to so many different aspects. Okay, well, next week. Oh, go ahead, JJ.
No, I was just gonna say, other than that, like, yeah, we're good. Yeah, that's
Yeah. Next week, the second law, make it attractive. So next week, let's come back with what habits we want to create, and then let's formulate plans. Let's help each other to formulate plans to do that. Okay, guys, thanks for joining. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Okay, Jack.
Chelsea, check your chat. Oh, she left. Oh, man.
Okay. We'll see how many of them come back with habits. Come on, girls.